If you love somebody, then tell them what the heat does. They just may run away from you.
All right. I guess I'll go ahead and get started. As you come in, if you would just put in the chat where you're from, what your role is, and what your expectations are from this session, so that we can try to make sure we're targeting what we're covering to those that are joining us today, hopefully. I am Alicia Verwee. I am from Educating. I am also an educator. I teach 2nd through 6th grade gifted education in the great, wonderful, ginormous city of Picayune, Mississippi. I'm presenting today with Kai's Clan. Ronell Schott and Bruce Jackson are here with me today as well. And we're going to be talking all about AR and VR in the classroom. What does that look like? What kind of resources are out there? And specifically their platform and accessing it with Kai's Clan and all the potential that it has. So I'm going to jump into our presentation here. So Educating is a relatively new company. It is myself and I have a business partner. Our main goal is to get information disseminated to teachers, things that you need, information in terms of new products, new concepts, new strategies out there so that you guys can implement those in your classroom and in your schools. Our main goal is to help other educators. So we would love it if you visit us. Let us know if there's something you'd like to hear from us. We're all the time doing instructional videos, blog posts, etc. And we would love to help you out in a specific area if there's something that we can do for you. Kai's Clan is the co-presenter here with me today, and we are going to be talking quite a bit about them and their products. They have a lovely platform. It integrates the physical world where you're actually coding robots, driving and maneuvering robots, but you're also getting to see them in the augmented and the virtual worlds. Look at that cute little booger there. And so the students get to take this all the way from the creation of their own avatars to actually seeing those perform in the virtual and augmented worlds. This is just kind of talking a little bit about what is and why you should use AR and VR in the classroom. The number one reason that I am such a fan of AR and VR in the classroom is, of course, that engagement with students. For students to be able to see something in what appears more of a real world environment for them, they are much more engaged with what they're doing. They're much more excited about it, and therefore you get the buy-in from them. And we all know how important that is as a teacher, for them to buy into what it is that they're doing. If they're more vested, they're going to learn more automatically. These are a couple of blog posts that I have on our website, so we would love for you to check those out. I do have a link in the digital tote. The entire presentation is linked there. Make sure and check that out. Good morning, Rochelle. Looks like we have a new person joining us. Nice to have you. So make sure that you check out the digital tote. All of these are hyperlinks, so there's tons and tons of resources there for you. You can see the articles. You can also see some of the additional things we're going to talk about in a minute, where you can obtain those resources. Okay. AR and VR sites and curriculum. This is a lot of the resources I was talking about. You know, how do you create your own virtual field trip? There's tools and resources there, Google Tour Creator, Google Poly, Marzipano. You can also visit places like Nearpod. Nearpod has a ton of lessons and resources readily available in their library. Google Arts and Culture is a great place for tons of field trips if you're looking for some virtual options there. And these are all places that you do not have to have VR goggles, by the way. So I made sure to implement some things that's not necessarily a must-have. And then, of course, National Geographic has some great stuff. You can also see down in the AR, VR environment, Tinkercad, Minecraft, Thingiverse. Those are some great, easy places to start if you're relatively new to this game and want to implement where your students are creating some of their own stuff. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. AR apps, sites, curriculum products. These are some of the best that I've found, more of my favorites, I should say. ZooBurst, Math Alive, Cleverbooks, Quiver Vision, AR Planets, Arloom Plants. These are where you can really get the kids engaging with that curriculum. So these are more from the augmented reality side. And then these are some more field trip sites. So these are some great resources. And again, if you download the presentation, these are all interactive for you. So you can click the links and go straight to these sites. So be sure and check those out if you're looking for some great field trip options. I'm a big believer in giving lots and lots of tools because I don't like to purchase products or deal with products where it's a very narrow window of use. So I'm a big believer in those education dollars going as far as we can make them go, because we all know we don't get a whole lot of them to spend in the first place. So these are all resources that are going to help you do that. This is another article that we just recently posted on our site that's all about those products. And so if you are going to purchase, what our recommendations and suggestions are so that you do make those dollars go as far as you can possibly make them go. So be sure and check that out as well. When you're dealing with AR and VR, you are basically pulling in all of those things that we talk about: the collaboration, the critical thinking, the creative thinking, that problem-based learning. And as we proceed and talk more about Kai's Clan, you're going to really see why it is one of my favorite products in the classroom. Because it is one of the first that I find truly brings and integrates all of these different aspects. And when we talk global collaboration from an ISTE standpoint, this is something that's talked about a lot. But up until this point, I don't think I've ever truly found a product that really allows the students to do that in a very practical way. So you're going to see how that makes, how Kai's Clan really makes that possible. As we go through and talk a little bit more about it. One of the things that they're doing, and you'll see that this is a big way in which that they are doing that global collaboration, is they are looking to launch a global chess challenge next fall. And we are so excited to be participating in that. My students actually have already designed their chess pieces, and we're super, super psyched about getting to do that. So we hope that you guys will be joining us and put that on your calendars if that's something that you're interested in, to be part of that next fall. And there will be more information coming out. So if that's something you're interested in, also make sure and just drop that in the chat if you would, or reach out to one of us directly. Probably would be even better. Our email addresses, Ronell and mine, both are at the top, and then all three of our emails are on the last slide. So feel free to reach out to us and let us know if that's something you're interested in. We may also be able to connect you with some funding sources. So if you feel like that may be an issue, let us know that when you reach out, and we'll try to help you with that as well. All right, we're going to go. What students have to say. I thought that you guys might be interested before we get into the hands-on play of what do kids have to say. It's a Sunday. We're kind of limited on having the students with us here today, which we were kind of hoping for, but this at least tells you what some of my students really thought about interacting with Kai's Clan's products. Kai's Clan is so fun because we got to control robots using Blockly coding. We also get to watch the robots using an app that lets us see them in 3D augmented reality. It was really very interesting and challenging getting to pick up things with the grippers. They love the grippers on these. They just think they are so fascinating, by the way. My classmates and I had loads of fun. It was so much fun working on our 3D chess pieces. I also enjoyed coding the little bots. They think they're really cute, so they always call them the little bots. Being able to move your chess piece wherever you tell it to and see it virtually is so cool. I liked programming my robot to play music from Indiana Jones. That was one of my students' absolute favorite things. And then lastly, I couldn't believe how interactive the AR and VR modes are. It challenged our problem-solving skills. I would recommend these to all teachers. One of my students said, I think every teacher should have to have these. I said, if only that were true, right? So, like I said, if you guys are joining us new, please make sure and drop in the chat session where you're from, what your role is, and what your expectations are from this session. So are you new? Are you just getting into AR and VR? Are you more experienced? We'd love to know that. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Bruce from Kai's Clan.
Thank you very much, Alicia.
You're welcome.
Great presentation. Thank you. Yeah, so hey, big shout out. We're from New Zealand, so both Renelle and myself. You know, I started this journey. I've been in education or dealing with education for about 11 years. And about 3 years ago, my son was learning coding at school, and I went into a school open day that had 7 other schools. There was a big presentation on what, you know, all the different things that they're doing, all the different STEAM things they were doing. And I was really frustrated because my son was just using his thumbs to demonstrate how, you know, the coding. I'm like, they asked the teacher, you know, when are you going to show the coding? And, you know, and then, you know, that was it. And I was like, hey, come on, there's got to be more to this. And so being a bit of a, you know, ADHD person, they didn't have a label for me at school, but yeah, that's what I would have been, I think. But yeah, I just love technology. I'm very passionate about it. I'm very passionate about getting our kids ready and give them the confidence. I think that's the biggest thing, is giving them the confidence. So I created Kai's Clan to give, you know, kids a better chance for when they leave school and go into jobs, because, you know, a McDonald's is just going to be a vending machine in you know, a year or two. I have a bet on it. You know, automation is happening. So yeah. Hey, and a big shout out to Rochelle. Really grateful for you to join us today. So thanks. If you want to chip in here, feel free.
And Bruce, automation's already happening. At many of the McDonald's here, you don't get a person. You go up and place your own order on a machine. And then the person does give you your food, but you don't interact with an individual.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think in New Zealand about 3 years ago, and I think this is what struck me or took it home for me, was we got a concrete factory, and you know, 300 people lost their jobs because they went to a fully 24/7 automated system. You look at car companies. You know, car companies are, you know, going fully robotic and, you know, fully automated. So, you know, the jobs for kids today will be different tomorrow. The future is already here. We're already living in the future. Right. So what does
Rochelle, I just want to say, I think that's awesome that you're using this in your Spanish classes. I used to teach reading and science, and I really don't do a lot different when I'm in the gifted classroom than I did when I was in the reading and the science classroom. So I love to see that. I'm very passionate about STEM education and the whole wave of the future, if you will. So
I love the fact that you guys were sharing what the students are saying, and, you know, we really want to better the education for students. But what about the teachers? So here it is. If you purchase Kai's Clan, 50% off any product. So we really, really want to give you that opportunity to get Kai's Clan. But, you know, why? Why Kai's Clan? So Kai's Clan is a collaborative multiplayer coding platform. So it's a STEM toolbox, and you can choose which tool you want to use. So if you want to use the hammer or the spanner Well, we call them the robot avatar or the AR or VR. We've got
Um,
AR blocks. We've
Ronell,
got,
I just want to interrupt you real quick. It looks like Rochelle is going to have to be leaving us shortly. So you may want to just let her know about your discount.
oh, Rochelle, if you haven't heard, 50% off. Just use ISTE 2020 and we can then talk. We know Rochelle's already a follower of Kai's clan, so yeah, just hook us up. So that's really, really awesome. And then we're going to come back. We're going to do some prizes in the session 2 and then also for session 3. So that will be really good. So like I said, it's the toolbox, so you can choose which tool you want to use, and we're going to show you a little bit more hands-on stuff. So when we spoke to teachers and educators, they loved the integrated lesson plans. It's the cross-curricular, exactly what you guys are talking about. You can use it for literacy, you can use it for science, computer science, maths, everything that you really can do, you can use Kai's plan. So it's not just about a yellow robot. It's an online multiplayer platform, so it doesn't matter which browser you've got, and students loves multiplayer games. And then it's this virtual world overlaid on top of the physical maths, and you'll see more of that when we do the robot avatars in the next session. So here you can see we've also got 45 lesson plans. So Kai's plan is aimed at 7 to 15 years of age, just depending on the capability of the students. You can create your own projects and share them with the community. And then we're currently working on the ISTE standards for Kai's clan.
And Rochelle, I'll jump in there. I actually use this all the way down to 2nd grade. So you're saying 7, but I've used this with students as young as 6. And they've used it without any hiccups whatsoever. Now, obviously, certain parts I don't do with them. You know, you have to ease into things. But as far as the basics of, you know, the coding aspect, a lot of my 6-year-olds can do that part.
And Alicia, yeah, when we designed it, we wanted a product that was not just a single-use product that once you've used it, then it goes and gets dust, on the sideboard. So we wanted a product that's got a very wide berth, and you have it like use Kai's plan like a ladder. You know, you get on the first rung, and you slowly work your way up, and you can go very high with Kai. Oh, excuse the pun.
Yeah. And that is really, truly one of the things that makes this one of my more favorite products. And just to talk a little bit about the integration in the classroom, and you were talking about different platforms and that, but also being in a district that isn't as technologically advanced as some, that's been one of the more pleasant things of working with the product in my district. Is there have been some products I've purchased that we couldn't actually implement because we had difficulty with them on our networks or things of that nature. We haven't run into any of those issues with the product. So that is a big, big thing too for educators. That's a huge part of the technology aspect. I didn't have to get any special permissions from my technology team or any of that. And that really helps from a teacher perspective when you're implementing things.
And you know that one line that you just said took us 6 months to achieve?
Wow. Well, on the flip side, that's one of the things as an educator we appreciate, because a lot of times that's what happens is it takes us 6 months to actually use the product we purchased.
Yeah, you try getting one of those whiteboard, those interactive boards connected to your school network. Oh my gosh.
That was one of ours that took us 6 months last year.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, we had to put in a work order for tech, and we were waiting on that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So in New Zealand, we did this year the New Zealand School Space Race. And that was from primary school all the way to college. And it was really, really interesting, the different approaches that kids did. But the awesome thing is the creativity. So you will see later on that we, can create these robot avatars, and these students just use Minecraft and Tinkercad, and they just had such a ball. We based it around perseverance, and they all had to create their project. And some of them said, hey, it's 2035, and the cows and the cats and the pigs are all happily running around Mars. The other guys thought they were aliens, and they went to steal the aliens' food so that the astronauts can survive using sensors. And again, with sensors, stick around and you'll see in our third presentation, we talk about sensors, and we're going to water our plant here because we've been away for the weekend and doesn't look so happy. So Bruce needs to water some plants here. So stick around with us.
Right. Let's get into the...
So again, wait. We've got our QR codes. Why don't we show the QR slide? And if anybody out there, if you can download, depending if you've got an iOS or an Android, if you download this app on your phone or on iPad, you'll be able to see the AR the different environments come to life. So there is some mats that you can download that is also sitting in the resources, that you can see all our different environments come to life. So,
and I think what's important here is, even though the session is recorded, if you join later after the session, this is a live classroom. So when you do join later, you might not see any robots on there, but you will still be able to see the virtual worlds. In the totes, we should have downloads for some PDFs with maps, and they've got a sample classroom code that you can scan and see like robots running around on the mat.
And if you're in the tote right now, Bruce, they are not in there yet. We had some difficulty with that, but as soon as the session's over, we'll go back and be loading those mats.
Okay.
Fantastic. Right. I can see these guys are really keen to get some feature. He said, enough of these adults talking. Can we please have some time? So Bruce, over to you.
So what are we going to demo?
I reckon show them the user interface. Let people, they log on, they go to app.kaisclan.ai. So again, we'll put that up in the chat. It's app.kaisclan.ai. And this will bring them. So you register as a teacher, and then you can go and have a look around. You don't even need the robots.
Okay, cool. Right. So as you can see on the video, we've got a couple of robots here. And when I move little robot 1 around, you can see on the map view where he moves around. If I move him too close to the edge, because if you put this robot on a table and he drives, he's starting to drive off the edge, he will like fix himself and bring himself back onto the mat. So it's a nice little cool feature. But yeah, so we've got our coding on the left-hand side. We've got motions. So it's very easy to, do some basic stuff with Kai's Clan. Don't be scared with this. We do offer free training with every purchase. So here we go. So very simple. Bot 1, and you can see the student name. So we've got students that can log in. So Alicia, if you want to log in, you can log in. And this is the classroom code up here, FSPFPB, for this session. So we can have our students log in. They can be coding their robots. It's it's collaboration. So, we're all not individuals here. We all work in teams, and, it's important that we get students to collaborate. So let me run this code. Bot 1, move forward 10 centimeters. And if you look at the video, you should see robot 1 moving forward. There we go. On the map view and on the physical robot. So I can also open his grippers, and let's close his grippers. We can go to a particular coordinate, and then that's a nice thing about it. Did you use coordinates, Alicia?
Yes. Most definitely. And actually, that was another one of the things that I really liked with my older students, because one of the things that we have consistently struggled with in our district, from a state standardized testing standpoint, is that data aspect of things. And so really getting the students involved in a way that's meaningful to them, where, you know, you're not just learning math, but now it means something. So getting them engaged from that perspective was really nice.
So as you can see, I've done some simple code, you know, to move the robot forward. But here now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the robot. So robot 1, move to the position of 113. So what you see is on the mat here, we're holding up to the camera, is 3D printing. So kids can use 3D printing to create their own, you know, objects on the mat. So you don't have to just use the robots. We've also got a little parrot here, Lego, you know, using Lego, and we just stick a QR hat on him, and then he becomes a unique character on the mat. So you can see now object 100 is a parrot. So I can give this a name. I can say parrot. Okay. And we've got 113, and that's called treasure. So I can go and get robot 1 to go and grab the treasure and then bring it back to me. So let's bring it back to 0, 0 and run that code. So let's watch the robot now do its job. Hopefully I've coded it right. So he's going over to get the treasure. And hopefully he's bringing it back. So there we go. And the robot's got buzzers in it. There's a whole lot of stuff. So it's not just about the little yellow robot. There's a lot more learning available as well. Alicia's logged in. So
yeah, took me a minute.
We've also got a chat, so I can say hi, Alicia. And Alicia has got access to robot number 7. So wherever number 7 is, okay, just do that. So there's robot number 7. So Alicia can code her robot. So this is great for hybrid learning. So we can have students logging into the mat that the teacher has. We can have robots with the students at home. We could have this in the classroom. We could have mat versus mat with other schools, and that's what we're going to be doing with our global chess championship next year. I can also, as a teacher, I can also remote Alicia's coding interface. So if she's got a problem, I can take control of it and fix up any code. Or even if Alicia's not logged in, I can actually manage her code and see what she's done. So check her homework. There we go. Alicia's coding a robot. So you can see on the map view, and we can see that it's Alicia that's controlling that robot as well.
So this is all the way from America, very, very far away from New Zealand, sitting, and she's coding a robot. So this is really how students can work together. So they get a lesson plan, the teacher gets the lesson plan, the student gets it, and then they basically open it and they have a look around and they work out. So it's problem solving, it's design. So it really fits with the curriculum. Computer technologies fits in every aspect of Kai's clan.
And just so you know, on my end, for those of you watching this, all of their robots, because they're in the teacher version, show up blue. But I'll go and share mine so that you can see the difference here, because it shows up green for me.
So this is your screen you sharing now. Yep.
Okay. So see here, I'm number 7, and I'm green.
Oh, cool.
That way I know.
Just added this week.
What's that?
That's a new feature that was just added this week.
I was going to say it didn't do this the other day, so that's why I found it really interesting.
Just go back to your screen, and I'll just back to your screen share. And what I'll do is I'll do the remote access so you can see what happens. So I'm going to remote your browser just for your Kai's Clan interface.
Okay.
I'm going to fix up your code. So now what happens is a student can play. So if you press spacebar or click with your mouse.
And Alicia's got a flappy Kai bird.
Let's see what high score you can get.
So if you keep going up with spacebar, you'll see there's some things like little obstacles that you have to get through. You just need to get through the first second first. Okay, come down, keep going, keep going.
Oh. I'm on my laptop, so it's a little bit more difficult. I don't have a mouse or any of that.
And then as the students are starting to enjoy the game, the teacher hands it back, and that's the end of the game. So,
so you can click join again.
Okay.
So you'll see that we're just about at the end of our first session. So why don't we show a little bit of augmented reality, Bruce?
That's a good idea. Right, so doing these sessions is always a bit of a challenge. So and I like a challenge. So let's see if we can get the iPad running.
And while you're doing that, Bruce, I'll just comment real quickly. You mentioned early on in your decision to do this and your observation at your son's school that, you know, in your experience of education that you were probably the ADHD kid. We have a lot of those nowadays, and we have a lot of students that are expecting that instantaneous feedback. One of the things that I will say, if you have not used this type of technology in your classroom, your classroom management issues will go to basically zero. The students are so engaged, they don't have time to even think about misbehaving. So it does help a lot in terms of that as well.
Yeah. So let me just, let's just change over to, I need to change over to meeting interface template. There we go. So we can see a larger view of the map. Yeah, so Alicia, when, I tell you what, I mean, I'm one of those kids that get bored in 5 minutes, and I still do. You know, I need to have something that keeps me entertained. And as you can see, this product offers quite a variety of stuff. And, you know, even when demoing it, I just love it. So what you can see here is the content. Now, I can't remember how to get it back into the full screen view.
I think it's, no.
Show audio video settings. That thing was locked out, and I can't remember how to unlock it. The Hangout view. Anyway, what did we do? We did something.
We had boxes down at the bottom before that don't seem to be there now.
Because that Hangout view was locked, and we couldn't figure out how to unlock it. Unlock. No. I don't know. I click on everything in the. Yeah. So there you can see the virtual world. What's that?
Talk about the AI.
Oh, yes. So also in Kai's Clan, we use, so I'll just switch back to content. Also in Kai's Clan, we use AI blocks. Oops, wrong button. Clicking on everything now. So this is a quick video on the different virtual worlds that are built into Kai's Clan. So when you have a mat, this is a warehouse mat, Mars mat, and these different mats have different virtual content. So whichever mat you have, you can then control your robots on it. Yeah, so I'll come back to that later.
And then you guys also have the Create mat, which is really great because they can create their own world.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So if we show that on the iPad, we'll be doing that later, apparently. Being told off.
Okay, so I think we come to the end of session 1. We may have some new people that's going to join us for session 2. So I am going to change Matt's over because the next session we are going to do some robot avatars.
Talk about what?
Right. So if we do get those new folks joining us again, please make sure you drop in the chat where you're from, what your role is, and what expectations you have for your time in the session today. So are you a newbie? Are you experienced? What exactly do you expect to get from this session? We would love to hear from you. Make sure and go all the way to the top of the chat if you're looking for contact information for us. Our emails are there. Also, don't forget to download the PowerPoint that's in the digital tote, as well as at the end of the session, we'll be posting some more things in there, some links to the mats and such, so you can view those as well. There's tons and tons of resources in the PowerPoint presentation, so make sure that you download that so that you can access all of those resources at your leisure.
Cool. Also, we're just mentioning about the little cards that are included in Kai's Clan kits. This pathfinding one is actually an AI card, so using artificial intelligence to find its way. So on this mat here, you'll see that there's different types of roads and paths, and the robot has to navigate those paths. So we use AI for that. So much like a Tesla self-driving car or Waymo self-driving car, how that navigates, we can then code the robot to do the same. So probably, you know, well, one of my favorite features, and there's a lot with Kai's Clan, is the ability to code the robot, but not just code a robot, but have a virtual character on top of it.
But wait. Why don't we ask the people on a poll? I think it's time for a poll. Let's see if you use Minecraft or Tinkercad or something else. So can you run a poll, Deborah?
Yeah, okay.
See if there's anyone going to join.
So, right.
Maybe we'll come back.
Maybe we'll come back to that. Right. So
Yeah, so I'm going to end.
you're going to end that? Cool.
I think from what we know, most schools use Minecraft education now. Tinkercad is a really cool tool to use, and then students can actually go and 3D print the object as well, what we were talking about in the first session. So,
And that's what we use. We use a lot of Tinkercad, so my students did their chess pieces in Tinkercad.
Yeah, I love Tinkercad. I do a lot of stuff in Tinkercad. I'm supposed to migrate up to like something like Fusion 360, but Tinkercad's easy. I like it.
Yes, it's very easy.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I like about it, if you're going to 3D print, is it works with almost any 3D printer. I haven't had any difficulty with any of the versions and it being compatible. Which again, in the school system can be an issue with some of those. So
Exactly.
And I think that's what's good about, Kaisplan. It's that whole process, it's a design process, and then they can go and print it out. They can actually put those physical objects. I mean, we've got this here, and I know Bruce is dying to, because keep an eye on what's happening, because we're also going to have a cupcake. The cupcake's going to disappear, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, Bruce, show us a little bit about.
Right.
Here you'll see some code. So when you load the lesson, it loads some sample code. On the right-hand side, you'll see that's Bruce will show you in the reel. You add your avatars there. You can see a virtual viewer. We've seen this little video. If you want to play that again.
Yeah. So with Kai's Clan, you've got these virtual avatars that we call. But not just virtual avatars. So each robot or each QR code or your Lego or your 3D prints, all you do is you slap on a QR code on top of it. Each QR code is unique, and then that character then can become virtual. And it's a multiplayer experience. So Alicia, we'll make Alicia's robot something, and in fact, Alicia, you can choose from the library. So if you get ready for that, and then we can switch over to, a live demo. Right. So next slide, here we go. And I've just got to find. So if you've got the Kai's Eye app, this is the QR code to scan. If you're watching this on a video later, just pause this and scan those codes. Right, so let's share screen. Okay, so here I've got Tinkercad, and like we were saying in Tinkercad, we can design. So I've got a little Mars rover here, but I could then do whatever design I like. Click Send to in Kai's Clan, and in Tinkercad, scroll down and click Kai's Clan, and then that sends it over to us. So this will load it.
Have you guys changed? Am I still in under the same class code? Because it doesn't seem to be selecting for me.
You're still in FSP FPV.
Okay. Let me go back.
Okay, and then once you're inside, so once your model comes over, I'm just going to do it because of time. You can then go through and have, you've got all your different models. There's a, search tool, so you can search if you don't have time to do the design. You can use Google Poly's library or upload your own. Yeah. So, okay, so we've got a couple of robots on the mat, and we're going to allocate different characters. So we're going to have Fox. So, Alicia, what would you like to be?
I'm trying to select Pikachu, but I don't know if it has something to do with me sharing, but it's not allowing me to select him right now.
Oh, so you're going to Sandbox, load model. So use Sandbox on the left-hand side, and then say select model.
And then it has the list of people, and so I'm selecting, and it says, like, it shows the big picture like it normally would, but on the side where it would normally show my robot, once I select it, it's just coming up with the dotted lines.
Okay, well, I'll do it for you this side if you like. Okay. So I'll load you as, which character did you want to be?
Pikachu.
Pikachu. Okay, what page was Pikachu on?
Well, it's on my first page. He's a little yellow guy right above the fox for me, but
yeah, it will come probably different pages. I think the main thing is to We've got a poll as well.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so Pikachu for Alicia, and then I'll do a little fox on for Renelle, and then what have we got here? Bruce.
We need a horse.
A horse. I did see that horse just now. It's on page 4. So this is a library of models that we've loaded previously. You can load whatever you like. I mean, you see these shapes here. You know, you can do a simple puzzle. You don't even need to use robots. And then for 113, I'm going to load a cupcake. And we're going to get the robot to steal that cupcake. Okay, so now we've got the load functions. What we can do inside Kai's Clan is load a virtual viewer. So this virtual viewer can be seen by, if you've got an iPad or Android, you can open this app. Or you can load, the students can actually run it inside their own browser. So let's run this code now, and then you'll see the virtual characters start coming to life. So there's Robot 3 currently with the default character, and now there's Pikachu appearing, the fox appearing, and did we assign anything to Robot 3? No, we didn't.
We've got a fox, horse, and reed.
So we'll go back to home. Okay, so there's the fox. That's Renelle. Where's Pikachu gone? Oh, there he is over there. So there's Alicia. So Alicia can go into the speech function. So if you go to Sandbox speech, and then you can type something in there and run your code, Alicia, we can actually chat inside the virtual worlds.
Can you do read in Robot 3?
I read for Robot 3. Okay, get rid of that. Robot 3. I have seen him. Read. Has anyone played Among Us? Have you played Among Us, Alicia?
No.
Oh, it's a great game. It's like that board game. What's it called? Cluedo. Oh, there we go. So I can see Alicia's done a chat. There's Red from Among Us. So you can load in your own characters. You can then do a whole lot of different activities on it. So I'm going to set, let me make a magic effect on Alicia's Pikachu. So we can go effects, play effect. So the kids are not just coding their robot, they can also code the virtual world. So we can say robot when it's idle, yellow, and we'll make a sparkle effect and maybe do an animation as well. So we can bounce Pikachu.
So students code their own robots, but they can go and allocate effects or interact with the other robots or the other objects as well.
Oh,
And one of the things that I really like about the fact that it incorporates the speech and all of that as well is one of the things that we have to address are social emotional skills in the gifted classroom. And this is becoming a big thing across the board in many classrooms. And I have set up scenarios. And so what I'll do is I just sort of give them the broad overview of the scenario and what's happening. And then I have the students engage appropriately. And so it's really nice to put those social emotional skills now into a setting. And so what they say to each other and how they're interacting with each other, it allows you as a teacher to give them some sort of real world feedback. So now it's a place that's outside of them that's safe to explore for those social emotional skills because it's happening to their characters and that sort of thing rather than happening to them as a person, if you will.
Yeah, totally agree with you there.
And I think we even have schools doing a bit of language on here. So you may load a cat and then you may say, you know, maybe in Spanish, like Rochelle was teaching, she can say, what is a cat in Spanish? And the students had to type that answer in. So there's a lot of interactivity that you can do. And then obviously we've got a teacher only function. So it's really important here for the teacher, because if you have, like you get the classroom kit, that's 12 robots with 2 mats, and you have 12 robots being the cow and the rooster and the pig and the birds, it can become quite noisy. So very quickly a teacher can go and just mute all the sound, or clear the deck as well. So there is that function for the teacher to control. And it's the same with when the students upload robot avatars. The teacher has to approve that first. So, you know, just so that we don't get any inappropriate characters coming in. And then the students can, once the teacher has approved it, the students can go and allocate and start playing around.
And if you've never done coding before, Kai's Clan do offer free training. So we have 10 levels of certification to get you to climb that ladder. Even if you've got zero confidence on coding, you know, we can make you, you know, experts in no time.
So if you go back to Sandbox there on the right, Bruce, there you'll be able to see again at the top is the iOS and the Google icons. But as well, what you can do is you can actually go and share this virtual world with the parents. And I often find, you know, my girl may be doing a project, but I don't see what she's actually doing at school. And I think parents would like to get more involved. So we can say maybe Friday, 2 o'clock, we're going to share what the class has been doing. So you can just send mom or dad or granny a little link. They can download the app, and then they can see the code of what the students were working in during their term.
Like we've said, we've got different mats. So here you see the warehouse mat again with Alicia's Pikachu there. That's a pretty cool Pikachu, that one. So yeah, so depending on which mat you've got, you can see the virtual worlds in the different mats. So this is the Mars mat, and all of these environments are multiplayer. So, you know, you can use the predefined one. This is, I love this one. This is a create mat and inspired by New Zealand, because the product is made in New Zealand. So we've got some sheepies there. So fun fact, I think we've got more sheep than people in New Zealand.
And the island is pretty small, and there's some sharks. If Bruce can find a shark that's swimming around the island, but they're not like the Australian sharks that might just eat you. We've got quite friendly sharks, I think. I haven't gone for a swim with them yet. But yes, then on the create mat, you can actually upload different environments. So this is what Bruce is going to show you again. You can even create some environments. So, you know, there's preloaded stuff, but you can go and build some mountains and things like that as well.
I was going to say, if you're getting in with older kids, this is a great way to integrate, you know, have them do a virtual field trip beforehand to a specific location, have them choose their location or assign a location, however you wish to do it, and then have them go in and try to recreate that. So, I mean, it's a really great way, again, to connect, you know, that real world environment to this and really get them engaged with what they're learning.
And then obviously, if they've got an iPad or something and they download the AR viewer, they can go and look at all these environments in augmented reality. They can also go and look at it in virtual reality. And what's fun about that is that you're actually sitting, so say you're in Mars and you've designed your rover and you then put it into VR, you're actually sitting inside that rover driving around Mars, and you can see all the other robots, what they're doing, and you know, your students may put you on fire or turn you into ice, but it becomes really interactive and a lot of fun. So we always say Kai's Clan is coding with a purpose. It's a lot of fun, but there's a purpose. There's real world lesson plans. So we've got the fire rescue lesson that we created. Actually, Australian teachers created that. We've got a whole bunch of busy bee lessons. So I love the one where you can actually do that waggle dance. So students need to learn how to do the figure 8.
What's a waggle dance?
Well, the waggle dance is when with bees, if they come back into the hive. So bees fly a certain way out of the hive and they come back a different way. So they do like a figure 8. So the lesson plan is all there for the teachers. And then when the students come in, there you go. You can see it there on the screen. And then the students have to code it. So it's step by step broken down of what they can do. We've got some COVID lessons, how to stay away from people.
Social distancing robots.
So we've even got a little video. So if you go to our videos, Bruce.
And speaking of COVID and this new world that all teachers are living in, that's another amazing thing with this product is that the students can be at home and not in your physical classroom, and you're still able to utilize the product.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I really, really like, because I have a combination. Some of my students are at home, some of them are physically in the classroom, and those students at home often are left out of certain aspects of projects because they just physically can't participate, where this really marries those two together so the students are still interacting with each other even though they're in two different physical locations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's lots to do that you'll see on Kai's Clan. So with the robot avatars, that's just one of the features. So, if you've never coded, you can start there. You don't need to go and use everything. If you just want to drive the robots on the mat, here you can see we even have the young ones, if they can't code, they physically sit on the mat and they push the robots, driving them around, and then they can interact, and then they can go and upload their little characters. So like with the New Zealand Space Race, we actually saw them build things, on the mat, like the parrot, then they filmed that, and then they go to the virtual world.
Hey,
One thing that I'm sorry. I was going to say, one thing you didn't mention about the robots is that they come apart too. So if you do have those students that prefer to build like Lego bots or Lego characters, the motors and the wheels and things can be utilized on those characters. So you're not stuck with just the same robot for everyone either.
Yeah, so, you can pull the circuit board out of them and use it in your own projects. So we're going to do this circuit board thing during the next session, where we're going to use some sensors and water the plant. But I see Ariel has also joined us, so thank you. Just a quick shout out, obviously this is recorded, but if you want to purchase anything, 50% off for ISTE 2020, just use that code and you can get 50% off. So we've got a 4-pack, which is 4 robots, and this mat, this is called our Rescue Run mat. And you also have a classroom kit, which is 12 robots with a Mars mat and a warehouse mat, with all the lessons come included. And that offers you our toolbox, which is AR, VR, robot avatars, collaboration, sensors. There's a lot there that you can use.
And make sure, if you're just joining, again, check out the digital tote. We have the PowerPoint presentation. We have access to the mats that will be there. As soon as the session's over, we'll be posting those. So check that out. There's a ton of resources that are linked in the presentation. So it'll give you access to quite a bit. But
no, I want to see who has paid maybe a little bit of attention. If you came in too late, that's okay. Just go on a guess. We've got a poll. Who won? Red, you were supposed to code the cupcake, Bruce. We'll just vote for the best looking character. So once you've got that, like if you don't know, there's a game called Among Us. So we just download that character. It's a very, very popular game. So we just wanted to vote. Like we can probably say Pikachu. You want to put the poll up?
No.
Skip that one.
I've lost the poll.
There.
I've lost the poll. Cool.
Okay. Is there any questions? We would love to hear. Lauren, can you go into discussion mode so we can maybe hear?
Hey, Ariel, where are you from?
If you want, you can unmute your mic.
Maybe put it in the chat or unmute your mic if you like.
Ariel, Jen's also there.
Right, cool. Let's move on to, shall we move on to the next section?
Yes, because you're probably going to need. So, we were going to come and just have a bit of a chat on augmented reality. So, Alicia, do you want to share with us a little bit about AR?
Yeah, on AR, one of the big things that the students like is getting to see the world itself come to life here. But this is also available in a lot of different options. Again, I'm going to go back to one of the reasons I love this product is it integrates with everything. And as a teacher, you know, having that one segmented thing is never something we really want to spend dollars on, because those dollars are really precious and we want to make them go as far as we possibly can. So with the AR option here, you get to actually see the different worlds, the different environments. And if you download the presentation, I've included a lot of resources for you in which you can also access these. So it's not just Kai's Clan and their products, but also being able to go to these other places and then being able to incorporate that. So when you come back to Kai's Clan, you can have them create their own augmented reality and their own characters within the settings that they can interact with. With the augmented, really being able to see it in a way that you don't have to have VR goggles and that sort of thing, and being able to interact with, say, an iPad or even just on the screen is another great feature of this as well. Because again, a lot of the products are really limited to how they have to be accessed. This one is sort of all in one. And again, another great thing for teachers, because there's a lot of these that are limited, I know, in a school setting. I've run into a lot of roadblocks trying to do AR and VR in the classroom, just because of, you know, permissions from the tech group and that sort of thing, which I haven't had any of those issues with Kai's Clan. So that's been an awesome, awesome thing there. If you will indulge me for just a moment, I'm also going to share, we have AR and VR in the classroom. Are you guys seeing my screen there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you should see my screen. I'll just, yeah, okay. Just set up a new screen.
Okay. And we're just going to go over to share screen real quick so I can show you guys a couple of resources from that standpoint. So in these two articles, there are resources for you, both AR and VR in the classroom and how to access AR and VR. Those are both two articles that we have up that will give you some additional resources on implementing that in the classroom. So again, you're not just stuck with one product that only does a singular thing. It's being able to have the versatility that I think is so awesome.
Yeah, see, we've got Zoe's joined us all the way from Athens in Greece.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah, I want to go there on holiday. Cool. Okay, so what's next up? Okay, Steam Toolbox. Yeah. So when we designed Kai's Clan, we didn't want a single product to be put into the classroom and then have a single use. We really wanted it to be very diverse. I mean, kids these days, you know, their attention span is, if it was anything like mine, very short, and they want to get a lot of instant gratification in different areas, and you know, just ignite their brains and set it on fire. So somebody asked me the other day, what does Kai mean? And in New Zealand, the word Kai is a Maori word, and that means food. And, you know, I love it. Food is knowledge, and AI is, well, we all know artificial intelligence. So knowledge and AI. And so I like saying, let's get a beast on knowledge, you know. So yeah, so Kai's Clan is a box of tools, and as a teacher, you just pull out those tools, whatever you want to use. You know, if you just want to use some, you know, do the AR stuff, and that's all you want to do, then cool, that's all you need to do. But if you want to go deeper and just climb that Steam toolbox ladder and really expand. So I think what we're going to set up for now is our smart garden, and things probably will go wrong here. So let's get started with that. So yeah, so Kai's Clan, another thing in the toolbox is the ability to use over 35 different types of sensors with it. Now, this Kai's Clan is very unique product offering. It also supports BBC Microbit. And what's very unique about this is that the little Kai robots are actually connected to the internet. So, Alicia, what state are you in, Alicia?
Mississippi.
Mississippi, that's right. So even though Alicia's in Mississippi and we're in New Zealand, Alicia can code the robot from where she is. So great for hybrid learning. And this gives us the ability to access data over the internet. And as you can see here on our mat here, we've got our smart garden set up on the table. Not that you would have a garden on the table, but hey, all science projects have to start somewhere. So we've got some veggies just starting out growing here. And we're going to monitor the soil moisture level in here. We're going to do some really good science stuff. So because that's what STEAM is about. It's not just a single subject.
Oh, welcome, Chris. We've got Chris from London, so that's really good. So you are just in time to see, hopefully not a disaster happening here. We need to water these plants that survived the weekend, and Bruce is going to show how we can do this with Kai's Clan. We really want to make sensors easy and get students excited about using sensors.
Okay, so what we've got here, this is the Kai's Clan coding interface. It's Blockly, but we've also got JavaScript over here. And what we're going to do is we've got our virtual view going on as well. So wherever you see the physical robot, you see the virtual robots as well. Now, I've got a circuit board out of the Kai's Clan. Hold on, I'm sharing. Yeah, that's right. So you can see my video. So I've got the circuit board out of a robot here, and we're going to plug in a bunch of sensors to this. So what I need to do is, like I said, things will go wrong. And okay, so robot 10. I'm going to plug in a sensor. I'm going to plug in a light sensor. So this sensor monitors how much ambient light there is. So I'll plug it into the robot. So that's robot 10. That's robot 10. Hopefully you can see that on the camera feed. Yeah, okay. Where's your labels, Renan? This is a moisture sensor, soil moisture sensor. And I'm going to plug that in. So white goes to white. I'm going to plug that into robot 7. What's that?
You've got another camera in front of you. It's on.
No, that's off. Yeah, maybe I should switch to that one. Okay, yeah. So we just plug in the sensors, soil moisture into the robot. What else? We've got a water pump. Actually, put the water pump in here. Soil light sensor.
We've got a submersible water pump that comes with the Kai's Clan kit. So we have actually a big box of sensors that you can see here, all really good color coded. It's just yellow or green. So very, very simple to decide which sensor you need to use.
And they're very easy plug and play. So if you're not an electrician or you're not, into all that, don't be afraid. They are very easy to use.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is we need to just set up the sensors onto the robots. So just minimize this. So robot 10, we just click green, and that one has got the water pump in it. Click save. So we just set up the sensors, and these are wireless. So remember that wherever you are in the world, you can code Kai's Clan and read the sensor data. So robot 2 has got a light sensor. Now I've got to find that. And as you can see, there are loads of sensors. Light sensor. We also support the BBC microbit as well. And that puts the BBC microbit onto the internet. And I don't know if any other suppliers done that before. So robot 7, moisture sensor. Have I got all the sensors loaded? I won't do the temperature one, yeah. So, okay, so on my screen now, we've got a few different robots. So robot 2 has got a light sensor. So let's just test that. We put our finger, if we put our finger over that light sensor, you can see that that's been covered. And Renelle, have you got that on the video? Let me switch over to videos again. Okay, there we go. So yeah, so if we put our finger over the light sensor, you can see that. If we've got the moisture sensor there, so if we hold our fingers really tightly across that, we should get some reading. Renelle, you need to drink more water. You don't have much moisture content in your body.
How about I put it in the plant? Isn't this what we're trying to do?
Yeah, put it in the plant. There we go.
Can people see that in the plant?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you need to put it all the way in.
3%. Oh,
Yeah,
Bruce,
it's
it's
go
dying. My poor, do not kill the roots.
Okay, so that's obvious. That plant is very low on water. So what we're going to do is we're monitoring in real time. We're monitoring the moisture content of the soil, and then we're going to water the plant. But when kids are doing problem solving, you've got to convert like let's say English sentences for the kids to go outside and do the problem solving. So when they go outside and to their gardens, they go, okay, let's look at the soil. They pick up the soil and they rub it between their hands, and they feel, how dry. Does the soil stick to your hands? Because if the soil sticks to their hands, they can actually judge how much moisture that soil's got. So that's a way of them getting an understanding of the problem. The other problem is, normally in a school environment or at home, if you go away for the holidays, how do you water the plants? Like the plants at schools now during lockdown, who's looking after the gardens that have been created? So this is a problem that we need to solve. And we can use Kai's Clan to actually solve this problem. Have you got a garden, Alicia? at school?
I
Or?
have one outside, but we don't have one at school, no.
Yeah, but it's a cool project. It's a cool lesson to have at a school. Okay, so now we've got. I'm just going to test the water pump. So we need to make sure we don't put too much water in there. So I just go to an action block, and that is on robot. Just got to make robot 10 has got the water pump. So I just choose robot 10. And we're going to turn on the water pump for 2 seconds at 10% power. So let's click run on that, and you should be able to see in the video the water pump pumping.
It's coming. I can feel it.
Is it on? Just run it again. Sometimes it gets a bit of an airlock. Turning? Yeah, I can feel it. I think it's probably got an airlock. Okay, so let's just put it on 50% power. Just got to get the flow going.
Bruce, can you make the video where you're showing that larger? They've seen the code side. Can you show them so they can see?
Maybe if we go into...
Can you share that as a screen?
Which one, the video?
Yeah, like where you're showing the actual, what the robot's doing there on your map.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so let's, I need to switch back to that meeting interface. And hang on. Switch to AV. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the code again, and then you can see the pump running. So there we go. It's trying to pump. You just get a bit of an airlock, and then that tends to block it a bit. Let's run it again. It's trying. Just put it on for 10 seconds. Yeah, I think we're running low on water there.
Do you want to set up?
And one of the great things about this is being also the STEM coordinator at my school. I wear a lot of different hats. I've gotten a lot of questions from our science teachers in relation to how do we actually do experiments with the students that aren't here. So this is another great feature where, although they aren't, physically interacting with the robot and the plants and that sort of thing, but you could do any type of experiment related to these sensors, and they're still reacting to live data and things that they're getting. So they're still very much involved and can code the robots from wherever they are. So I think this is really awesome from a science and STEM perspective to get those virtual students engaged.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's dive into the code. So if you haven't done coding before, don't be scared off by this. We do offer free training to get you on board. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to use some logic code here. So we're going to use an if statement, and then we need to say, we need to water the plant at a certain moisture level of the robot. So we know that robot 7 is monitoring the soil moisture, and it's currently sitting at 20%. So let's do that. So we go bits. We need logic. This if state for the if statement. We need environmental moisture sensor. So we're going to say if the moisture sensor level is smaller than It's currently sitting at 20%. So let's say 25%. So if it's less than 25%, we want to water the plant. So we need to say action, turn on the water pump for 2 seconds at 50% power. Now, we need to make sure this is the right robot. So which robot has the
Moisture sense a 7.
is 7 and the water pump is 10. Okay, but hold on. Should we water the plant during the day or should we water the plant during the night? Because if we water the plant during the day, you know, the sun will evaporate all the water while we're doing it. If we water the plant at night, I spoke to a plant expert and he said that you will actually encourage mold growth if you water the plant in the evening because the humidity might be higher. It'll depend on different climates. So the best time to water is in the morning. So we could actually use a timing thing to say what is the current time of day and then do an if statement there. But I'm going to just do another if statement and just to complicate things, just to really confuse you, scare you away. No, I'm joking. Okay, so let's do another if statement. And we're going to say logic. Does this make sense to you, Alicia?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now we want to say
This is where you're really getting into a lot of the problem solving. You know, so if you're dealing with those students and they're going through, and also I find, again, you know, putting on the hat of the STEM coordinator, science teacher, you're teaching code, but you're also teaching them from the scientific method standpoint, you know, those if-then statements and what you're really looking at when you're testing something.
Correct.
You know, hypothesis. Just to let you guys know, we have about 5 minutes left of the session.
Okay. So what we're going to say here is if the light sensor is less than 60%, which would make it dark.
Yeah.
Right. Less than 60% light percentage. So currently we can see that robot 2 that's got the light sensor is currently sitting at 86, 89. That's just with the ambient room light here. So if this condition is true, if it's less than 60, then it's going to hit this next if statement and it's going to say if Alicia's robot moisture is less than 25, then water the plant. But what we want to do is we also want to just play a sound, wrong one. We want to play a sound just to tell us when each condition is true. So we're going to play a little alert sound and then we'll play a different sound if this other condition is true here. Okay.
Yeah, but Bruce, we did all this robot avatars. How about we make the sun go down? Or
okay. Well, that's a good idea.
We've got a few minutes to quickly load.
That's a good idea. Okay, let me just change the scene. You're cutting.
You may want to change that so they can see what you guys are changing.
Oh, yeah, you need to share the screen again. Yeah, thanks, Alicia. Oh, so I've been doing all this and no one's been seeing my code. Okay, so here's a complicated code that I was working on that I didn't realize you were seeing the screen. Okay, so I'm just going to run that code quickly and just change the theme. So that should be changing. Change the clip side. Okay, there we go. Okay, and seeing I'm running out of time.
Sun is there somewhere.
Sun is it?
There, Sunny.
Sunny. Okay, so load model. I'm going to put that onto Sunny onto 113. So 113 is a QR code on the mat sitting over there, and we're going to make it dark. We're going to change the sun color. If this condition is true, we're going to make it dark, and if it's not, we're going to make it sunny. Okay, let's try this out. I don't know if this is going to work.
We're going to water the plant?
Oh, you got to put the hose in the plant. Okay, so the code is running. We've got the sun loaded. It's a little sun, bear with me. So now you've got to make it dark. Ah, there we go. The virtual environment's gone dark because you're covering the moisture sensor, and now it's watering the plant.
There it goes.
So if we
Yay!
switch to AV, there you go. It's still dark, and it's watering the plant.
If my plant's not too wet.
So we're going to drown the plant. There we go. Woo! I tell you, it's nothing like being put on the spot this is more than a term's work in about 5 minutes.
Right.
The water plant is not dry. I mean the plant's wet. Okay, so you want to stop sharing?
So yeah, just by uncovering the light sensor made it daylight.
And these lessons are all in our lesson plans. So if you go back to the PowerPoint quick, you can nothing like quick.
Right.
There we go. So you would have seen this is the data monitoring. With all of this, that's the lesson plan. And we load sample code. In every of our lesson, we load sample code. And you can then actually do all the data collection. So you can export all of that data from all the different sensors in an Excel spreadsheet. And then you can actually go and teach them graphs as well. So this is really important for college students. So like 14, 15-year-old, they're very, very interested in that whole data collection.
And then we've done the demonstration.
So if you've got any questions, our details is also in the beginning of the chat, or you'll see here is our contact details. Again, 50% of any product, or you can just contact any of us. But from New Zealand, very, very far away, I want to say thank you very much to Alicia.
Oh, thank you guys for letting me be part of it. It's been amazing. Just really quick, if you're still with us, make sure that you do download from the digital tote. Again, tons and tons of resources in the presentation. As soon as we're done, we'll be uploading links to the mats. So you guys can view those as well. Be sure to check out www.educating.com. There's also more resources there for you. And if you came in late, I also want to tell you that they are launching a global chess challenge, Kai's Clan, next fall. So if you're interested in possibly partaking in that, reach out to Ronell or myself or Bruce and let us know that you're interested. So that we can get you on that list. And again, if you find that through that process you may need sponsorship, we can also try to help guide you with that as well. So we really appreciate everybody attending today. We hope that you got what you were looking for out of the session. If you have additional questions or comments, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
And I think we cross over now to the next session. Which I think our moderator will come in and probably stop it, I think, because it is the right time. So thank you, everybody. And as we say in New Zealand,
a big high five, and a big high five to you, Alicia.
All right. Thanks so much.
Rightio, so I think we'll click stop on this, and until next time, catch you later.